Alright, rockers, back here inside the asylum with yours truly, Turbo. This week, as I promised you, more interviews as the year went on, and well, I am delivering this one long overdue. Midnight Mob from right here in the New York area is a band I've been lucky enough to know for many, many years, and this interview is long overdue. Joining me by phone right now, the front woman of New York's own Midnight Mob, Blackey herself. How you doing, Blackey?
I'm doing so awesome. Thank you, Turbo, for having me.
You are very welcome.
This is a treat.
Thank you. Like I said, we were talking before we started this, and I want to put out there to my listeners publicly, and also publicly apologize to you and the band and your fans for not doing this sooner. We talked a little bit off the air that as I was getting ready to line you guys up, you guys had a little bit of an issue on your end, and I meet with you.
Yep.
Maybe you want to just tell everyone where Midnight Mob is at right now, what was the delay between albums, just so everyone has an idea of what's going on now that Midnight Mob is back full steam.
Oh, man. Well, actually, that kind of takes us into the title of the new EP is called Honest, Brutal, Glorious, and we named it that because of, I guess, the last 2.5 years of just like the whirlwind we were in. I guess right when you were getting into the interview and stuff, we lost our drummer. He quit, and at the same time, like, we were all like privately going through some personal issues. I myself, like, I was getting sober and getting my life together. We got into a van accident, and that was pretty much our source of income in order to play shows.
Uh-huh.
So we had that. It took us a year to replace my catastrophe, and then once we got Chris going, we started writing music, and that was going good. And right before we were about to start recording, I suffered a vocal injury, and I really wasn't able to sing, and I had to go through a good 8 months of vocal therapy.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I mean, I was able to do, like, little acoustic stuff here and there, but, like, I had a cyst on my vocal cord and all this crazy stuff. It was a mess. But, this experience, it's all trained us to be better musicians. We really had to put down all of our crap and put pride aside, put any weight that we could possibly, be carrying down to kind of forge through. And, we came out victorious and stronger together. And, we really saw, as a team that, we are unstoppable.
Yeah, you
At least
are.
we hope.
No, that you are. I mean, you almost have, as a band, you guys almost have your behind the music story, kind of
right?
already over and done with.
Right now we're boring.
No, and you guys are anything but boring. Anyone that knows the Midnight Mob knows that. You guys put on a hell of a show every time I see you guys, and
thank you so much.
You're very welcome. As I said, I'm lucky enough to know Midnight Mob for many, many years and kind of seen you guys grow. And I didn't know that you guys ended up in a van accident. I remember you guys were doing a ton of touring outside the New York area. Is that when it happened? Because, that's news to me.
This was a while ago. Like I said, it's been like a 2.5 year, like, it's been really crazy. right before Mike quit, we were on our way to do a tour. We didn't even get there. We didn't even make it past our second stop. I think we got as far as Albany, and it was just a silly accident. Like, thank God, everybody was okay. Like, it could have been so much worse. Nobody was harmed. We were totally fine, but the van just, how it crashed, it was completely totaled. So, and we've kind of, like, from the beginning, we started touring. So the first 5 years, we hit the road, so it was really weird, like, not being on the road. I mean, I think that also helped us kind of work out a lot of our personal issues, because it's like now that we're not all out and about, we had to be forced, like, in the room together and really, really working together as a team.
Right. It wasn't like you got to a venue or a location and it was, all right, I'm tired of you, I'll be back, I'm going for, one of you go one way, the other goes another way, and then it's all right, everyone sees each other for the show and work together again to do everything. And
it was really weird.
Now, how did this go into play when it came to writing the new album, Honest, Brutal, Glorious? Because here you guys are, two albums under belt. Now the whole world has changed. Things are different. There's a new lineup, with a new drummer, and how did that all play into you guys doing the writing for the album?
Oh man, well, we write from experience, and I myself, I was never a musician or really a writer before my band or a singer or anything like that. So pretty much, if I heard something I liked from them, I would be inspired that way through whatever situation I was going through. But pretty much every song on this EP really told one of 6 parts of the last 2.5 years, through, getting sober, working together as a team after, really, all the odds stacked against us, us going through all of our personal stuff and, really not knowing who we were, but still, trying to, it's like we had been together for 5 years at that point with no lineup change. It's like we married our second grade boyfriend. You know what I mean? It's that's kind of not heard of too often, I guess, in the music scene.
No, even some of the bands that have been around forever, take a band like Aerosmith, they're the original lineup now, but members have come and gone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. We really we've been blessed in that way, because I think you got to kind of be able to stick it out together and really, I think you pull the plug too quickly a lot of the times. But doing an original band is definitely not for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot,
and you got to kind of try in order to know whether it's for you or not.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but you also have, personalities sometimes don't link up properly. You may be great friends that can hang out.
Absolutely. But I think the biggest thing, because like I said, I was never in a band before. I never sang. I never did any of this before, and neither did 3 of my other bandmates at the time. I think the biggest thing we really took from this experience, over the last 7 years, was, you really need to take a big slice of humble pie, and see, even the flaws in your own personality. What can you do to make a situation better? what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what do I really have to apologize for, and humble myself and get in gear.
Well, I can't say for any of it before. I think it's safe to say no one would know that, considering you guys are going 5 years strong and have honest, brutal, glorious, already in the hands of those who were part of the Play to Music campaign, like myself.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. As soon as I saw that go up, I got involved in. I also wanted to discuss that too before we circle back to something else I wanted to ask you about. But the Play to Music campaign that you guys did, it's not a new thing. Everybody's doing it, from the local bands like you guys all the way up to major labels like Megadeth and so many others. You guys managed to kind of really hit your mark relatively fast. Was that a surprise for you guys going into it, considering there was that gap between albums?
It was. I mean, part of us was just like, I think anybody starting that gets, has that like little feeling of insecurity. I mean, we were fortunate enough, like, because we toured so much that, we were confident that, like, our fans across the country, I'm sure that, like, if they, put in $5, we'll get there. But, I think, like, I was biting my nails the whole time. Like, oh my God, are we gonna actually make it? Does anybody even like us anymore? Like, we haven't put anything out in a million years. We didn't have a van to show anybody a show, and so we were really blessed. It was really great, great feeling, and I think through that experience we were able to make New Fan Pledge was set up. It's a little bit more interactive, I think, than not that I want to diss like a Kickstarter or something like that, but we didn't really want to just like beg people for money. Like, part of what made Midnight Mob is like pretty much our interactions with all the fans and the friends we've made like across the country. I mean, we've pretty much learned how to be a band through just meeting all these people. Like I said, we were just total Uber noobs. So they had like all of these different, like, if you pledge this amount, you could do like one-on-one sessions, like kind of meet the band. Also, I think like once you hit like the $5 mark, you got like access to like all of our videos and like all this like personal stuff. So it was a really fun way to kind of learn more about our fans, because they got to really interact with us and give us feedback, song to song, and artwork and all that. It was really cool to just see, and it was very humbling and wonderful to just see that people did care, and they took it seriously, and they wanted to give their input, and that was very moving, and we have wonderful people behind us.
Well, you guys definitely do that. No question on that. And like I said, I was thrilled to see you guys do so well so quickly.
Thank you.
Especially, you always got to root for your hometown bands. And I'm partial because I've known you guys for so long, and I've seen Midnight Mob play to, a handful of people in a room, and I've seen you guys play to a room packed to the gills. So I've seen both of it for you guys. I know so many people have always said, it was the first time they saw you. How could they miss you guys? How did they not hear you guys? And these are people that are in the New York area that what really should know, who you guys are, being that your hometown people. And it just goes to show the type of band and individuals you are. And the one thing that you brought up over and over again, and I've seen in person from you guys. I want to know if it was something that you were told when you first went out on the road, or if it's just natural for you guys. Is that not once has any one of you ever played, rock star or diva. You guys are always hanging out, watching the other bands, talking to whoever's around. Never hesitates to talk to anyone that wants to either talk to you in general or about the band and about your performance. What was that advice given to you guys, or just something you guys realized, what, the only way to make it out there is to be a regular everyday person?
I don't know if anybody told us that. I mean, I think we always approached this. I mean, I think we were always so shocked that that our band was doing as well as it did. Like I said, we were never in bands before. I never sang before my band, so I was always like, I went to every local concert. Like, I loved live performance. My band members are the same way. We always had an appreciation for music and live music, and really, getting to know the people that we're seeing, and that never changed. Even if we kind of gained a little local status, like we learned how to get better through advice from friends, from audience members. I mean, I even know as a singer, I never did this before. I was that girl the first time I was up there. Like, I think I threw up beforehand. Like, I was not, but even my attire or what I was putting out there, like, getting feedback from audiences, like, oh, hey, you remind me of this. And sometimes it would be like, yeah, that's exactly kind of what I wanted to put out there. And sometimes, like, even without them trying to be offensive, they would say, oh, you remind me of this. And I was like, yeah, that's not exactly what I wanted to put out there. So it was like, oh, this is a cool way to kind of learn. It's very, you're very out and exposed. Sure. And honestly, I think, like, it's a disservice to your own band if you're not talking to everybody in the audience, if you're not making friends with the other musicians around you. Like, there's nobody like, other musicians that are going to support you in your journey. You know what I mean? And your fans, like, those are the ones that, like, keep you out there, like, their input. And I mean, yes, you want to be true to yourself, but be open to hear. It's part of the experience.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's something I wanted to touch on, because you've been to many of the local shows as I have. We've run into each other at countless shows. It got to a point where I didn't know if you were there performing or you were there to see the show, type of thing, And
Good.
So, we always run into each other, and and you always seem to anyone that approached you about the fact that you were the singer of Midnight Mob, and we've both seen that the local bands, that there are a few, and I won't name them out of respect, but there are local artists and local bands that get this ego because they have a following, or they might have gotten a label deal, and you see a change. And that's why I wanted to discuss it with you, because here you guys are, you've got that following, you've almost got that reason to be snobbish. Not that you want to give anyone a reason to be it. No one should be. But you guys have always been right there. You stay for the whole show. You don't book out.
Thank you. Honestly, that's the best honestly, that's the best compliment you could ever give us.
I mean, you're very welcome. Because, yeah, and it's true. You guys, I've worked with you guys. You guys have been part of Rock Against Dystrophy before, and there are bands, and again, I'm not naming, but they come, they do their set, and they're out the door. And then there are bands that are like you and Midnight Mob that they hang out, they support the other bands, they listen, they, BS with the fans, and, they make a night out of it.
I don't understand how they could not, honestly. I mean, I'm not even saying this to be polite, but we have our scene. There's so many talented people in our little scene, and even when you were saying, you've seen us go from having just a handful of people to having a packed room. It's cool for us to kind of see bands do that as well. And it's great. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I love music. I love watching my friends grow as musicians. And how they've inspired me countless times. They were also my leg up when I'm down or I'm struggling with something. So, to go to a show, that's like the highlight of my week, my month, whatever. It's like I get to really hang out with my friends and experience their art and whatever they're going through and see where they've improved or where they've changed something. That's always been the best part for me. And you get to hang out all night. You get to goof off, eat tacos, make fun of each other.
Exactly.
It's good stuff.
Exactly. So that's what I live for. People always look at me when I go to some of the local shows and that, one that I'm not doing, and they look at me and they're like, well, why are you here early? I said, we're second on.
Because you're awesome.
But, not that I'm awesome, but, I'm old, so maybe it's my age showing, but I'm a believer of if I can physically get there early to see as many of the bands performing as I can, whether it's a major show at a venue like the Garden or PNC, or if it's a local show at Slake or when Flash Bar was open, you want to see what's out there and what's available.
Absolutely.
So, for me, it's always been that way. And, when I see bands come in, do their set, and leave, it's just, or I've seen fans do it.
Yeah, I don't get it. How are you, especially when you're playing, you're just starting out, you're just playing the mediocre venues. Not that there's anything wrong with that it's a blessing to play them.
Right.
But I don't get the mentality of how do you think you're going to really expand your fan base? How do you think you're going to get your name out there? How do you think you're going to even get labels to pay attention to you?
Right.
And you just show up and leave. Nobody's going to remember you.
And it's the same thing on the fan perspective. I've seen people walk into a venue just for, argument's sake, they show up for your set. Let's say you're second or third on the bill. They show up for your set, and the second you say thank you and you put down your microphone, they're out the door. And then on Facebook, the next day they're going, oh, the scene is dying. There's no bands out there. It's all the same bands. But, hello, get out there and support. You supported the bands you saw at one point to get them the way they are. you know, but it's all politics and it comes with the industry, and unfortunately it's the way it is. But I want to get back, because you've said that you guys were not musicians and singing was not something, that you had ever done before. I've often referred to you in describing you guys on air as Debbie Harry like.
Sheesh, thank you.
You're very welcome. You remind me very much of Debbie Harry, Blondie, only more, dare I say, edgier. You're a little more out there. More, there's something you do enough to remind me of her, but not enough to say exactly like her. It's that reminiscence. What are your inspirations in regards to who you look at, or maybe you listen to, when you realize, hey, singing is what I want to do?
Ooh, that's interesting. Well, when I first started, I was always a gospel and blues fan, so I think the first song I wrote was very much inspired by B.B. King. Elvis, Etta James was big for me. Ella Fitzgerald. As far as rock goes, I loved Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. I'm also a big Phil Anselmo fan. I think his voice, especially in his early albums, is absolutely amazing. Performance-wise, when I was growing up, I was very much into like the New York City, the punk scene. I was like that little kid squatting at Tompkins Square Park and going to all like the Leftover Crack shows and all that. And I loved punk rock energy. So that is something I always took with me, even if I didn't really, even if there was a lot of bands that I was like, these are okay. Like I loved that energy that they always brought on stage. It was like a living, breathing thing, and the audience was just like a monster with them. So I think, especially like what got me to relax on stage. I remember. Probably the first year I was on stage, I really couldn't move that much. I was really nervous. I hadn't fully found my voice yet, and I was just scared. And I got a really, really bad haircut one day. So then all of my confidence, I went from having like this crazy long hair to having like a Mowgli Jungle Book hair. I had a show that night. It was like a St. Patrick's Day thing, and I was so bugging out, and I just kept thinking to myself, what would Iggy Pop do?
Nice.
So I just started breaking out all my Iggy moves, and even just picking out things that I saw with other local bands were doing. I needed something to kind of grab onto to not make me nervous up there. That's kind of it.
I tell you, that's a hell of a span from gospel and blues all the way up through, Phil Anselmo and punk. That is just an amazing span, and I guess it explains why you're able to do what you do with Midnight Mob. And for those of you joining in late, I've got Blackey of Midnight Mob joining me here on the phone here inside the Asylum, and we're talking all things Midnight Mob and music, and just discussing some of Blackey's influences. And now I'm guessing the fact that you were not really a singer per se going into this is what led to your scare last year as you were getting ready to record Honest, Brutal, Glorious with the vocal issue that came around.
Oh, say the last part again. Sorry.
That's all right. Um, your vocal issue. I mean, can only
My
guess.
injury.
Right, your little injury there. I can only guess that that came about from so many years of, learning how to sing. I guess kind of just going out there and doing it for the last 5 years. Did it maybe catch up to you? Is that what happened?
No, actually, oh God, I wish it was, you know what, actually, I'm not going to say that. I don't wish it was something like that. That would have made it a lot more serious than it was. What happened was I was taking lessons for a long time how to sing properly, and I did pretty good for the most part. There are definitely things that I could and still can improve on, but what happened was when I got sober, I also got off a bunch of medication, and I just, like, my body just kind of went into a total just, I don't know what happened. It was just total tailspin. And I don't know, like, I ended up having very, very bad reflux, and I guess from that it just wore at my vocal cords, and I was just having all of these crazy health problems. Thank God, when I went to the ENT and stuff, they said, it sounds bad, but it's really a bunch of little problems that are making a big sounding problems instead of a big problem making a big sounding problem. So I had to treat pretty much every issue very slowly, which was such a pain, but it was a blessing in a lot of ways. Like, I was so scared, because, I was never a singer before, and, like, pretty much I spent, from age 18 to, I don't know, 20, 25, 26, just kind of trying to nurture this voice and this life. This has, been the best part of things, and kind of just how I've figured out who I am and stuff, and the idea that, like, I wasn't maybe going to be able to do that anymore, or even not as good. That was so devastating, because it's like telling an artist you can only from now on you can only paint with, like, the color blue. It's like, oh my God, no.
Right, yeah, your limitations. Just, worrying about the limitations, start becoming an issue, I guess.
Yeah, even thinking about it, it's funny. It's like there's a thing with singing. It's like if you have to overthink about it, it's probably not going to happen. And if you're worrying about it, it's really not going to happen. So, even the added pressure of thinking, like, oh my God, I'm not going to hit this note, I'm not going to end up doing this, you're probably going to sound worse because you're making yourself nervous, but it's like, how can you not? You're already freaking out. But, whatever. I have a lot of awesome lead singers in our local scene that definitely gave me great pep talks and great advice, and were really there for me throughout this experience.
And that's what it's all about, everyone coming together when everyone needs each other, and that's
totally
proven time and time again. So much still I want to cover, and we're running tight on time, and I want to make sure I hit on these things. First, before we get into the video, first swing on, congrats on getting sober. I know that's not an easy thing for anyone to do, and obviously doing so threw your body for a curve and gave you a scare with your voice, but congrats on doing it.
Thank you. God is good.
Absolutely. Now, with that, let's get into the video real quick. You guys just did a little show here in the New York area at Drum.
Yep.
I heard awesome things from it. I heard you guys were as good as always, if not better than what I've I've seen you guys to be. And what made you guys go with Swing On from the album as the video that you guys wanted to do for it?
Two. There were two factors involved in that. I guess we had just gotten management, and I guess Swing On had the most commercial appeal. I guess from like all across the board, like what would kind of give pretty much everybody from our fan base, like from all different genres. Like we're very blessed that we have, like, you know, the metal scene likes us, the rock scene likes us. You know, we have people that are really not into rock that likes us. Like, you know, we have a very interesting mix. They said that this was kind of the most commercially appealing. You know, it had the most hooks. So, you know, leading with that one might be best, and then, you know, we'll do another one that's a little bit heavier for the second one.
Sure.
So between our producer and management, they just said that was probably the best to go with, and we just went with it.
See, that's what I want to management and all that, because you forgive me, I don't have the album in front of me, but the one that was originally titled Run Rabbit Run, because I have an early version from the Plague's music. I forget what Run Rabbit Run.
That's now Run for Your Life.
There you go. Run for Your Life, which I fell in love with the title originally, being a fan of House of a Thousand Corpses. I thought maybe there was a Rob Zombie joke in there with the Run Rabbit Run. I went with that song as soon as I got it.
Thank you.
To that one, but Swing On is a great one as well. And how was making that video? Because it looked like it was told.
Oh, there were parts of it that were definitely rough. It was really cool though. We were very blessed to get Jared Bellucci, the director, on board. He did our All for Nothing video, and he actually got a pretty well-known cinematographer on board with the project, just kind of as like a little, like, just kind of like a love affair kind of thing. Like, oh, we like the song, let's just do it. And they had to do the whole video in like 10, 12 hours.
Yes.
So it was so cool to just watch these like crazy professional people with all of their rigs and all this crazy equipment just kind of make this video happen. Just like watch other artists, other professionals just, you know, it's just in their element. But yes, it was cold. My bandmates didn't quite have to suffer like I did. I had to run outside in the cold with no jacket and all that, but, you know, whatever. All for the sake of art.
Exactly. It's a great music video. Make sure you guys check it out. It is available on Midnight Mob's YouTube channel, so you can check that out and find them on Facebook. Blackey, when does Honest, Brutal, Glorious officially hit? I have it because I was part of the Plague's music campaign. For those that do not have it, that are anxious to get it, when and where can they get it?
You can get it at midnightmob.com. It's going to be available on CD Baby and all that fun stuff, iTunes and whatnot. It should be out. We're aiming for the 25th of March, but end of March is when we're doing it. So
very cool. So everyone keep a lookout for it, and if you want it now, just go to midnightmob.com. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
Awesome. Blackey, what do you guys got coming up? Anything you want to make promote show-wise, or anything you guys got coming up, or are you guys kind of on a little bit of a break as you get ready for the album to come out?
No, we're kind of still hitting it. We're playing in Philly this weekend at Connie's Rick Rack. We're going to be doing more Philly and Jersey dates all through March. We're going to be playing the island again in May. And then we're really getting ready for a lot of festivals this summer. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, everyone keep your eyes out there, and if you haven't already heard of Midnight Mob, well, where have you been? Is that right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real.
Blackey, thank you so much for
Thank you so much, Turbo.
You very much. Thank you for joining me here inside the Asylum. We're going to play, let's play the video song. What do you say?
Sure, sounds great.
Beautiful. Check this one out. Swing On from Midnight Mob's album, Honest, Brutal, Glorious. Glorious. Glorious.